From Reese Stadium in New Haven, Connecticut, this is the Ivy League on ESPN. We've got a battle for Connecticut tonight, a Tuesday showdown between number 6 Yale and the Quinnipiac Bobcats. Thank you for spending your Tuesday night with us alongside Patrick Reed. I'm Brandon Ross. This is a Yale team coming off a couple of tough games, a loss against Brown, a nitty-gritty win against UAlbany, taking on a Quinnipiac team still going to find itself a bit here late in the season.
Yeah, Quinnipiac having a rough season, a year removed from a 4-3 MAC year where they had the MAC face-off Rookie Player of the Year and the Rookie of the Year. So they're looking to pull it together and put on a good show against the Bulldogs.
Yale has no shortage of options on that attack. Matt Brandow, a towards-on nominee, chief among them. But one player that really stood out in the UAlbany game back on Sunday was Leo Johnson, just a first-year career-high 8 points with 4 goals and 4 assists.
Leo Johnson just continues to impress, gets better and better every week, doesn't look like a first year, and really stepped up big when Yale needed it last week.
He'll be an important part of tonight's contest as well. Just about set for the opening face-off. Stephen Germain and Nicholas Ramsey, both sitting around 54%. 2 top 30 face-off men in the nation. And it's a sophomore from Setauket, New York, Germain, with the opening victory. A quick shot fired, caught up in traffic. Bobcats wasting no time, but the ground ball corralled. Check that, Dimitri George is the aforementioned face-off man for Quinnipiac. It was Bryce DeMuth with the ground ball, and Yale in its first possession. Andy Shea, after that UAlbany game on Sunday, said he was really impressed with what the Great Danes presented. And in the end, Yale just managed to clean up the turnovers and eke out the 4-goal victory. On the run, here's a big shot and an early score for Brad Sharp. He'd gone scoreless 2 games, but opens it up in the first minute.
Brad Sharp, what a great dodge. If you don't slide him and you just let him run to the middle of the field, get his hands free, he's going to snipe that past your goalie, and Quinnipiac just saw what he's capable of.
Sharp, a first year from Palos Verdes Estates, California, a 3-time high school All-American. He gets things cooking early with goal number 10 of the season.
Brad Sharp really came in under the radar, and a lot of people didn't really know who he was. When he started getting this playing time and started putting the ball in the net, people were very surprised.
Part of a very deep recruiting class that Andy Shea, the 19th year head coach, brought in. Quinnipiac so far 2 for 2 on these faceoffs. John DeLucia, team's leading goal getter, the 18 coming in. We'll get this one started. Here's Jake Tellers. Feeds back to X. A couple other names you'll hear a lot. The Donnerys, Dylan and John, a pair of twins. Dylan, the main operator from X. Another messy possession for the Bobcats, just rescued by Stephen Germain. So Quinnipiac has the ball back, but only 30 to shoot. Big shot stopped by Paquette. Will Abbott let it rip. But Yale looking strong as can be. Oken bullying his way in past the restraining line. Bulldogs trying to get it going again. The first save of the day for Nick DiMuccio in net for the Bobcats.
Yeah, Oken just lowered the shoulder and wasn't going to be stopped. But Yale looking to push in transition. Maybe they slow it down a little bit, take their time. Quinnipiac, a little bit of nerves here. You've seen a couple drop passes. And there Yale forces that on the ride. Quinnipiac has to throw the ball length of the field and just can't connect on the pass.
First unsuccessful clear of the day. Yale already with a 1-0 edge, courtesy of Brad Sharp. Seeming to be no shortage of space early. Carson Cool. Now Chris Lyons swims his way through, sliding save to Muccio, and he scoops it up in the crease.
Chris Lyons going through a lot of sticks there. Really just needs to move that shot a little quicker. You can't get through with triple right in front of the net. If he did, we'd have been really impressed, but not a play you want to take there.
Make that 2 failed clears in a row for the Bobcats. Wide open chance, closed off, and Lyons was going to try to swim through 2 again. Here's Jack Monfort. Dishes to Brian Tevlin. Had a goal and an assist against UAlbany, the senior. Now Matt Brandow, the Tewarton nominee. Leads Yale in every major offensive category. Shot clock halfway down. On the crease, Lyons finally gets his due.
Chris Lyons, what great hands. Sprinting towards the ball, catches, stops on a diamond, spins back, and is able to put it low past Muccio. And we see that great ball movement from one side, pushes the backside, and then feeds Lyons in the middle.
The assist goes to Leo Johnson, who's coming off that 4-goal, 4-assist performance. Lyons himself had a hat trick against UAlbany and has really caught fire late after not debuting this season until the Cornell game in late March. Well, if you're Quinnipiac and you're struggling to break the ride, just keep winning faceoffs. But if you're the Bobcats, how do you attack this Yale defense that seems to be giving no room?
Well, you have to not back down. You've got to run, get your subs in, get who you want, and then just move the ball. And you have to dodge with speed. But right now, Quinnipiac, they just have to settle down a little bit. You can see the nerves. You see some drop passes, some shorted passes. Just take your time, dodge, find the open guy, and move the ball.
Sidewinder shot, finds the pipe it in. Jake Tellers, the junior from Tolland, cuts the deficit in half for the Bobcats.
And nice dodge from up top. Dodges, draws the little hedge, and just once you see that open guy, move the ball and shoot.
Tellers in Quinnipiac's last game against St. Bonaventure, 7 shots, 3 on goal, none went through. Takes just 1 here. Longest face-off battle of the day. Protrudes all the way towards the Yale end, but the Bulldogs get on it.
Ramsey had won it, walked out of the scrum, and just walked right into a check.
Hackler brought it over and set the screen. A little too wide on the bouncer from Johnson. Already has an assist trying to find the goal column. Couldn't quite do it. Yet another first year finds the board. This time, Johnny Kibe.
That's going to be a long day for Quinnipiac if they let midfielders sit at 10 yards right in front of the net without somebody on them. Leo Johnson draws a lot of attention, a lot of eyes looking on him. And he just moves the ball quick. Nice shot by Kibe.
Johnson coming in with due attention, ranked the number 6 overall recruit by Inside Lacrosse, and continuing his reign of dominance in his opening campaign in New Haven. Right off the face-off, an attempt coming that does not quite go through for James Ball, the midfielder.
Switching it up with Dimitri George having such success. Yale fortunate enough to have a couple really good face-off midfielders that they can switch out to.
Here's Chris Lyons, who's already got one. Now Montfort has been held scoreless 3 games in a row. He's got the attention of the long pole, C.J. Gallagher. Thomas Bragg tries to feed the crease a little too long. Rescued on the sideline. Carson Kuhl somehow maintains Yale possession.
That is just a tremendous hustle play. 2 dives to keep that ball in play.
Couple ones going loose. Whoa!
What a heads-up play by Brandow. Defenseman flipping the ball to the goalie, and Brandow just says, thanks, I'll take that.
There's lacrosse IQ. And then there's just mind reading.
Wow. Will Abbott was sure. Will Abbott from Quinnipiac trying to pass it to his goalie, and 41 there, Matt Brandow just scoops it out of the way and puts it in the net.
First face-off violation against James Ball. And so the Bobcats were only down 2-1 a couple minutes ago. Now find themselves in a 3-goal hole. Evan Perry.
This Quinnipiac offense really likes to do ISO dodges from up top, from the corners. Saw a couple of them there. Yale defense really stepping up, being able to match feet one-on-one and not drawing a slide.
Defense collapsed right quick. That one found the pipe. Big rip from Pat Hackler, the sophomore from Skinny Atlas, New York. In the battle of a ranked team versus a 2-9 squad out of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, so far it's looking like it would on paper. Tevlin gets the slide, dishes off. Lyons steps into one. It sails high.
This is a game, looks like it's a game that Yale should run away with, but you also have to think about Matt Brandow getting an ISO from behind.
You can't give 4-1 and wide any space, because when you realize it, it's too late. Too early for Matt Brandow. 5-1 Yale.
We love our house. Been here for years.
Yeah, but there's an animal in the attic.
Drums!
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
We save a lot.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Little over 8 minutes in. Yale already running the table 5-1 against the Quinnipiac Bobcats, their rival from just up in Hamden. Dimitri George has been tough to stop, and now he's got 4 of 6 on the run. He tries to shoot. It goes wide, but the Bobcats have the backup.
Dimitri George having a great game today. Coming up big when his team needs it. You think what this game would look like if he wasn't winning faceoffs.
10-man ride for Yale has already caused a couple of failed clears. That one knocked loose from Abbott.
Quinnipiac coach is looking for a push there, a push with possession.
So far for the Bulldogs on the attack, it's been the usual suspects. Matt Brandow, who's got it right now off a split dodge, already has a pair and making an early hat trick. If it stands, and it will.
That's an and one play. Matt Brandow, again, no help coming. A little pick just creates some separation, and he goes right in uncontested. Not a guy that you want to let go uncontested. You have to be sliding early and often to Matt Brandow.
Make that 39 goals and 70 points for the junior from Timonium, Maryland, Matt Brandow. Plays like that, they're going to keep him on the Tewaaraton Committee's close attention. First violation of the half against Quinnipiac. We've talked a little about how Quinnipiac could try to break through Yale when they're on the attack. How do you stop this Bulldogs' lethal offense when you're trying to protect against them?
The only thing, you're not going to stop them. You're going to slow them down a little bit. You watched what Albany did, played a lot of zone to try to force those outside shots and just limit their inside looks. And that was able to slow them down, but they still put up 17. When you let Yale run through, they have such great dodgers. They're able to move, find the cutters coming through like they did right there. Not going to stop them.
A couple more usual suspects. Managed to get inside regardless. Leo Johnson from Matt Brandow. So make that a 3-point day for Johnson and a 4-point day already for Brandow, who picks up his first assist of the contest.
Brandow, 4 points. 5:29 left in the first. He's already got 3 and 1. Johnson with a goal and 2 assists.
James Ball, who is getting some run on these faceoffs, comes up with a victory. Mixing things up against a strong man on the other side in Dimitri George. Wide open. How can you miss that? He doesn't. Brian Tevlin. 9th goal of the year to make it 8-1 Yale.
Right now, these Bulldogs smell blood in the water, and every chance they get, you're seeing these dodges. Look at Tevlin. He had 7-8 yards. No one even saw him cutting through the center of the field.
Tevlin's one of those guys who's been around a while, came back for his final year, named an honorable mention preseason All-American in 2020. Consistent contributor, looking to make the most of his final campaign in New Haven.
Brian Tevlin just this week honored with the Molly Meyer Humanitarian Award from Yale Athletics. Just a tremendous human being from looking to promote mental health among the Yale campus. We look back 2 years ago, gave up part of his season to donate bone marrow to help someone with cancer. He's just a great kid, just a wonderful human being. And not a bad lacrosse player either.
Definitely not a bad lacrosse player. Put a missile off, but that one stopped by DiMuccio. He's out of net and it's loose. Delela just hangs on against the pressure from Johnson.
I thought Johnson was going to go for the big hit, but he went with the smart play and tried to take the ball.
Still a lot of game left, and the Bulldogs, with just under 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter, already out to a 7-goal advantage. Jake Tellers, who's cradling right now, has the lone Quinnipiac tally. Here's Ryan Donnery at X.
Quinnipiac with that ISO dodge from the top, getting to the middle of the field. Got to get closer on Paquette to make that shot get through.
Almost a clean Hail Mary to Eschbach right at midfield. Bobcats do win it back. There's the flag, and this will be a free possession for Quinnipiac. Pass just wide of Dylan Donnery, twin brother of Ryan. And now the penalty will officially be called, and we'll see our first EMO of this Tuesday night showdown.
Well, you talk about how can Quinnipiac stop the bleeding. You get that extra man, you have to capitalize. You have to really know your play, run what you're going to run, and find an opening in this Yale man-down defense.
Eschbach, 30 seconds for a hold, so a short man up here for Quinnipiac. But a unit that's definitely struggled. Shy of 38% in converting on these throughout the course of 2022. Guys to keep an eye on are the Donnerys. Dylan and Ryan each with 4 man-up goals apiece. Tellers to Jermaine. Tellers has to let it fly from long range. Paquette with another stop. And so there goes the extra man for Quinnipiac. And Yale already up 7. Brings it in for another assault on net.
Yeah, you almost wonder, we're getting 2 minutes left into that first quarter, and how long will Coach Shea leave his starters in there? How much are they going to play?
Leo Johnson's already done plenty. Here's Jack Monfort on the run. Above the crossbar. Brandow the backup. Brandow with a rapid 4 points. A hat trick plus an assist.
the Bobcats. Got the defense, ball watching, and just able to feed right on that crease with a nice finish. Puckett not going to be able to turn around and find that ball that quickly. If he does, it's just luck.
The 2 goals allowed, but also 4 saves for Puckett in this first quarter of action. Yale switches it up even further to Joe Newman on the faceoff. Down to 5 to go in the quarter. Jermaine gets harassed. The ball comes out, and that will bring the first quarter of action to a close. Well, the Bobcats stopped the bleeding momentarily, but the Bulldogs running roughshod on a Tuesday night in New Haven. It's 8-2 after 15 minutes at Reese Stadium. Right on the faceoffs in the opening quarter. Yale gets the first one to start off this second.
Great little fight for the ball in the middle. Yale able to create the turnover and get the ball back and start with possession.
Ball pops up. Comes down with Quinnipiac in traffic. A little confusion there as to where that ball wound up.
Just 2 seconds, had to try to get it out of his stick and onto the offensive end, but it goes right to Yale.
Big step, score. Make that 2 for Telvin. He's got 10 on the air.
Brian Tevlin, that's the fastest shot that I've seen him take. Great little step down right in front of the net. Leo Johnson. Boom. Tevlin. Another one of those players that Quinnipiac, I guess you can't fault Quinnipiac and say, hey, you have to watch that guy, because you'd go down the whole Yale roster with guys you have to account for. You look at Tevlin, Johnson, Brandow. It's just pick your poison.
Another victory for Newman. Quick dish. Shot. Goal. Matt Brandow. Make it 4. And he's got 40 on the season to make it 10-2 Yale.
What great ball movement out of Yale. Just seeing those quick openings, and Brandow doesn't miss from there often. And this is where you're going to see the benefit of having multiple face-off midfielders is when they're taking all of these face-offs.
That's the second violation of this half against Dimitri George. It's a testament to how Yale's playing, given how much they've had to play and will have to play. Took on UAlbany barely over 48 hours ago, Sunday afternoon. And then the final matchup of the regular season coming up this Saturday against Harvard to get ready for.
Well, with big implications for the Ivy League tournament, that Harvard game, and it's Yale, Harvard, so you have to win that if you're a Bulldog. That Bulldog Nation is like, we have to beat Harvard. We can lose every other one, but you beat Harvard. And so that's why you got to wonder, how long is Coach Shea going to leave his starters in? You want to make sure that they're healthy for that game. But you also look at this game and say, hey, we're talking 3 games in the span of 7 days. Is that enough time to prepare for a Harvard team that has gotten very hot of late?
And just the way the Ivy League standings are shaking out, it's going to come down to the wire. 5 teams, yes, 5, all at 3-2 in Ivy play. The tiebreakers are going to be chaotic. We got a whistle. Well, we'll stay with the Bobcats.
Push on Yale. That big thing is that'll reset the shot clock for Quinnipiac. Give them an extra 20 seconds on that play.
Jake Tellers has one of the 2 goals so far in this one for the Bobcats. The other courtesy of Matt Miller. Dylan Donnery tries to get the hands free, and he goes low to high to make it 10-3.
Beautiful individual dodge. One of those dodges from that top corner, able to just shake and bake, does a little swim move, roll back, gets his hands free, pass cool, and the slide from Chris Fake just a half a second too late.
Well, Donnery certainly comes in with pedigree. He was the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Rookie of the Year a season ago. Coming off a hat trick against St. Bonaventure on Saturday. The penultimate matchup in conference play for the Bobcats. Still got one more to go this weekend against Siena. So another possession after the face-off victory. Matt Miller, who's already found Twine, gets things cooking.
Quinnipiac always, over the years, has really had some really great face-off midfielders.
Evan Perry's shot just handcuffed, trying to get off.
looking at some of the guys, and they've needed them today. Dimitri George really has a guy who was the face-off midfielder of the year for the MAC, and he's really helped them out with the possessions today.
Quinnipiac, though, now losing the overall battle, 8-7. Certainly more possessions against a strong Bulldogs team. DeLucia tried to pick the corner, falling away. It goes wide. Still Bobcats ball, but only 10 seconds on the shot clock. Dylan Donnery wasn't looking. And the crease feed just lands at his feet. All Bulldogs early.
That long possession, though, Quinnipiac needed it. They needed to give their defense a break. So even if you don't get a goal, it's important there to get into that shot clock and give your defense, who's been playing a lot, just give them a breather.
10 minutes to go in this first half. Yale has been near impossible to stop. Brad Sharp finds Johnson, dishes up top, step-in shot, knocked down in front of the crease, scooped up by the Bobcats, and not so smoothly, but safely handed off to DiMuccio in net.
That's a good eat by the defense there. Anything you got to do to keep it out of the net.
Yet another unsuccessful clear for Quinnipiac. Only 5 of 9 as Matt Brandow has 5 goals in this first half.
Things looking real easy for the Bulldogs here. Quick cause turnover, and Brandow just running through the middle of the field in transition. Takes the shot and finishes himself.
Yale already in a comfortable spot, up 8 goals, making the switch in net to Jack Starr, a senior from Washington, D.C. So barely more than a quarter for Jared Paquette. He'll quickly get a test as Quinnipiac wins this draw.
Jack Starr, winner of a national championship as a freshman, as a first year, excuse me.
Certainly made a significant impact on this program. Just yesterday, honored with the Amanda D. Walton Award.
A tremendous honor there for a student who has faced a challenge and met it head on. A player who, Jack Starr, a 3-year starter, and playing through, on the team through the COVID-19 season, and then comes in and has a freshman who, or first year, Jared Paquette, who takes that spot, and he's just been such a consummate teammate, continues to bring this team closer together.
And the cohesiveness of this unit will prove important come today, Saturday, and going forward. Taylor's a little off target on that, skipper.
Well, the other thing that you think about is if something was to happen to Paquette late in the season or during the tournament, you got a known commodity in Jack Starr. I always think that national championship game, he didn't get enough credit for his gameplay. He made 2 unbelievable doorstop saves that turned and changed the momentum and really helped Yale seal that victory against Duke.
And just when it looked like Quinnipiac might get some clean shots off, Bulldogs say no way. Xander Martin with the aggressive defense moving all over to keep that lane closed off. Past the midway point of this second quarter. Nearly all Bulldogs on this Tuesday night at Reese Stadium. Yale already on its second goalie of the evening. Matt Brandow has been pushing the pace, already with 5 goals in this one. Johnny Kibe. Little give and go for Johnson. Ball knocked out. Devin Nadeau, the graduate student, third-year starter on D from Florida. Ripping it free from the first year.
Great individual defense and caused turnover there. Got him changing direction and just caught him as he hung his stick behind him.
Another long pass, but this time finding a target. The clear has been an immense issue for the Bobcats out the gate. Only 6 of 10. As Perry hits the pipe.
DeLucia able to reel that one in from the corner. DeLucia from Guilford, Connecticut, right up the street. Played for Brian White. Great head coach up there.
Just when Quinnipiac has a bright spot, Yale answers back again. Thomas Bragg. The onslaught continues.
Thomas Bragg, time and room, and he's able to, I think that hit 2 or 3 posts before it went in.
He's got Yale up 9 with just under 6 minutes left in the first half.
As an athlete, for many of us, it remains a part of your identity really for the rest of your life. I was fortunate enough to have many people there helping me during my athletic career, and so to now be able to give that back to my patients, to be able to help them, is incredibly fulfilling.
The game is connection, opportunity, where we find confidence and community. But not everyone gets the same shot. We should all have the right to play the game. It's our gift. And we all have the right to experience the gift of the game.
A Nutmeg State showdown here at Reese Stadium in New Haven, and the number 6 Yale Bulldogs looking every bit of that ranking. 5 goals from Matt Brandow, helping to fuel the offense. 2 from Brian Devlin, 4 points, courtesy of 3 assists from Leo Johnson, as well as Dimitri George picks up a face-off victory and once again fails to capitalize off the shot.
Really impressed with his wins and those dodges downfield. Just needs to finish.
He does have a couple of goals on the year. One of a number of face-off men around the country who have been historically dominant but have seen those numbers slip with rule changes, namely the standing neutral grip implemented last year. I mean, he was a beneficiary second in the country at the end of 2021, 74%. And he's got the majority so far, 9 of 17 for Quinnipiac, but not enough to outpace this Yale attack.
Well, he also had a very abbreviated season last year with those numbers, and once you see the schedule increase, you're going to see those more challenges.
Add into the fact he had to face off against tougher competition this year, a matchup on the road against number 6 Virginia. He had to duel with Petey LaSala, who's a top 15 face-off man in the country. Pump fake on the shot and another drive from Sharp. He passes. Another one just wide, that time from Christian Kropp, senior from Jupiter, Florida. And here's Brown now, who's already been deadly. 5 goals and an assist, and we're not even done with the first half. Make that 2 assists. As right there, he finds Brady McDermott.
Now you're seeing Yale starting to sub in some guys that we're not seeing a lot of, and McDermott just gets a step, gets past Nadeau.
In just under 26 minutes, Matt Brandow has matched his point total from the entire U-Albany game. On Sunday, finishing with 4 goals, 3 assists. Right now, 5 and 2. As this lead has grown to double digits. Some confusion as to who the guilty party is on this face-off infraction. But it is against Dimitri George. That's his...
Well, that's his third because they
half,
threw the flag. But the fans here are all saying, hey, that penalty's on White. White went early. Fans not happy. Easy for these Quinnipiac fans to make the commute.
Not a very long drive from Hampton. Got a good contingency of both fans and students making the trip. A few Bobcat shirts that read "Beat Yale" walking in. Right now, not looking too likely. But a wise old man in a different sport who wore pinstripes once said, it ain't over till it's over.
Well,
But with
Quinnipiac was...
strong shot like that, it gets a little closer to being that.
Quinnipiac watched and saw that Thomas Bragg was a big shooter on man up, so they were locking him off outside of the play down in that lower left. And Quinnipiac able to kill off the penalty.
Chris Lyons has a goal on this one, plus 2 assists. Off the screen, right in front. Lions again. Make that 2 goals for the first year Lions and 4 assists on the game for another first year Leo Johnson.
Yale offense looking very potent here. Chris Lyons so comfortable there on the crease. And still there was some communication with the officials trying to determine if Lyons had landed in that goal mouth. I just can't figure out what the NCAA has to do to take care of these crease considerations and figuring out with the rule. I don't know that the goal mouth is the way. I don't know if you make the crease bigger to protect the goalie or what it is.
Well, going right for it, right off the draw. Joe Newman couldn't get it through. And they've been tweaking with that. They re-implemented the crease dive as an option with the caveat of, you know, you can't land in the goal mouth. Then there comes the question of what is the goal mouth? They've added the little arc some places to try to help with that, but oftentimes it still leads to a lot of, open questions. It's never always perfectly clear. And add on to that the factor that, some attackers might get ticked at the idea that if the pole just decides to shove you at the last minute, Jermaine off his own rebound, how about that?
Yeah, and that defensively, that's a great play for the defense. If a guy's in and he's going to score, you hit him and you knock him into the goal mouth. As long as your goalie doesn't get hurt, it's a good play to keep that score off the board.
Another one wide from Ryan Donnery. A little over 2 minutes to go in this opening half of action. Limited offensive output from the Bobcats, who averaged 10 goals per game. Will Abbott pulls out a split dodge, no shooting lane. Turns back, Jermaine, point blank stop.
Wow. That was a beautiful inside feed, almost a nice inside crease finish, but Paquette just robbed him there.
Game's moving too fast. Forgot it's Jack Starr now.
Oh, it is.
Looking like he's been rocking those digs all season. Another big rip. Sawadski a little off target.
Now,
An 11-goal lead.
I feel bad. Jack Starr, one of my favorites.
Still plenty of time to make up for it. Got a whole other half of lacrosse on the other side of this minute 10. Didn't even need to curl back on the question mark. Brad Sharp falling away, just sticks it for his second of the night. Almost a little fitting. Got the first year who had been struggling to score for a couple of games. Might end up bookending this first half with the first score and the final one. 15 in the opening 29 minutes so far. We're not even done yet.
Another nice win by Dimitri George. Like I said, Quinnipiac has had some really great face-off midfielders. Oh.
Dylan Donnery gets one back. He's got two of the now four for Quinnipiac. Still a long way to go.
Yeah. This time chooses not to shoot. Draws that slide and moves it over to Donnery, who finishes low. Looks like some of the guys I've seen here for Quinnipiac, Will Vitelli, maybe Jonathan Bailey, some of the all-time greats that they had.
The assist given to George, which is his third of the season. And if you're trying to find bright spots for Quinnipiac, the face-off is hit. Barring another score and draw, they will finish the first half with the face-off advantage, 11-10 over the various Yale face-off men who have been rotating. Some Joe Newman, had some James Ball, and only really saw one go-around from Nicholas Ramsey. The Bobcats get another. The deficit's back down to 10.
Quinnipiac with a little run to finish off the half.
We've already seen Dylan Donnery's name get called. That's his twin brother, Ryan. Team leader in points, extends his goal streak to 10 games.
Just got a step there on Conrad Collins.
So we'll go in the books as 12-10 in the first half on face-offs for the Bobcats. 10 seconds left. Big rip from long range. They got it. Joey Van de Veerdonk, the junior from Putnam Valley. Gets his 5th goal of the season. It's a 9-goal game. What a run here.
Quinnipiac just feeling a little momentum. Yale, you see defensively, starters not out there. A couple of guys who maybe haven't been playing as much, and Quinnipiac taking advantage. And they're saying it's the first half, and you don't have Chris Fake in there and Bryce DeMuth and Mikey Alexander, and they took that personally.
Nothing like a long, drawn-out battle to close out this first half of action. Some light bite there from the Quinnipiac Bobcats. They rattle off 3 goals in the final minute of the second quarter, but it is still Yale by 9 after 30 minutes in New Haven.
The game is connection, opportunity, where we find confidence and community. But not everyone gets the same shot. We should all have the right to play the game. It's our gift. And we all have the right to experience the gift of the game.
Halftime at Reese Stadium between Yale and Quinnipiac in men's lacrosse. The Bulldogs running the table, a 9-goal lead after 30 minutes of play. Brandon Ross, Patrick Reed with you, taking a look at the Ivy League standings. That's a lot of clutter, and the tiebreaker scenarios are really enough to make your head spin. Some people said it would be a question mark what the Ivy League would look like, and the people who said bloodbath are right.
Yeah, this has been just such a great year. And for the Ivy League as a conference, the bloodbath is probably the best thing that helped them, and that's going to help them as they get into NCAA tournament selection time, because they did so well out of conference. And then in conference, you didn't have, 2 teams that were 4-1 and looking really strong, and then some other teams that struggled that maybe wouldn't have had as good a resume, and everybody's right there in the mix. Chris Jastrzemski, we've got to send out a big thanks to him for putting together the 4 or 5 page document with all of the breakdowns for scenarios.
And we'll get through those throughout the second half. On pace to be a 5, maybe even 6-bid league. Looking at the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, Quinnipiac already mathematically eliminated from the conference tournament. Only the top 4 make it. It'll be a lot of room for them to grow going into next season. One team to watch on the MAC side, though, St. Bonaventure. Their goalie, Brett Dobson, has a pro future, no question.
Yeah, absolutely. Leaving early to play, and he's just keeping that team in it. And when you get to a conference tournament and then the NCAA tournament, one of the things you always worry about is running into a hot goalie. And when you look at a guy who's probably the best in the country, you don't want to see them in the tournament.
Well, Yale's got a couple of solid guys themselves. They've held Quinnipiac to 6 through 30 minutes, while the Bulldogs have racked up 15. Back in a minute with stats.
"50 years ago, their story began. Generations of women etched their names in the Yale history books. The pioneers, the trailblazers, the rule breakers, the boundary pushers, the won't take no for an answer, won't quit champions. Your grit, perseverance, and tenacity paved the way for women's student athletes of today and tomorrow. We remember you. We honor you.
I believe myself to be part of like the last
we move forward
age range
for you.
Of people to live in it.
As an athlete, for many of us, it remains a part of your identity really for the rest of your life. I was fortunate enough to have many people there helping me during my athletic career, and so to now be able to give that back to my patients, to be able to help them, is incredibly fulfilling.
And Quinnipiac in men's lacrosse, the Bulldogs running the table through 30 minutes, 15-6 the score. Yale had an 8-2 lead at the end of the first quarter, tacked on a large margin towards the end of the second, but Quinnipiac did get 3 goals in the final minute of that frame, so you never know what could happen when the final 30 minutes roll around. We got stats, we got highlights, we got another half of lacrosse coming up when we come back. Next on ESPN Plus.
We love our house. Been here for years.
Yeah, but there's an animal in the attic. At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
We save a lot.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Actually, call me to be.
Second half about to get underway between Yale and Quinnipiac on the men's lacrosse field here at Reese Stadium. Brandon Ross, Patrick Reed with you. We have been watching so far pretty much Bulldog dominance through and through.
Yeah, a really great first half performance from the Bulldogs, and then Quinnipiac, just that last minute or so, pumping a few quick ones in and trying to make this look a little bit closer than it's been. But Lyons, Johnson, Brandow have just looked so dominant against this Quinnipiac defense.
Matt Brandow in particular shining. 7 first-half points. Coming off a performance against UAlbany where he had the same total from the entire game. He's doing it shooting and passing. A pair of assists adding into that total. 5 early goals. You know, it took until very late in that first half for Quinnipiac to get much of anything. Jake Teller's had the first tally. You eventually get a couple more down the stretch from the Donneries. What does Quinnipiac need to do to turn on the Jets offensively in the second half?
Well, I think part of it is they need to hope that Yale doesn't put some starters back in on defense and continue to dominate matchups where it's not those Yale starters who are playing at a higher level, but these guys at Quinnipiac, they're Division I lacrosse players. If they play their best and they take care of the ball, they can score. Not as much as that Yale was, but they can score.
Look at the overall thing of stats here. That's good English, but looking at the stats, the face-offs are really what are keeping Quinnipiac in this. 13-10 in favor of the Bobcats right now.
But you look at a lot of the other stats. Look at shots, 27-28. Quinnipiac getting some looks, but they just need to put more on cage and get a little bit better looks, maybe shots that aren't so far out from the outside.
There'll still be Jack Starr between the pipes. On the Yale side of affairs, a rotating cast of characters taking the face-offs for Yale in the first half. This time, Joe Newman to start the second. Dimitri George.
George lost his stick there and kind of went back to get it. They called him for playing without his stick, so that possession goes to Yale.
They do give him credit for the face-off, though, so now 14 victories in this one. So many different Bulldogs racking up the points in that opening half. Leo Johnson with a goal and 4 assists. Matt Brandow, 5 goals, 2 assists. In total, already 8 different Bulldogs who have found the back of the net. No one's going to do it here. An errant pass turns it over.
Yeah, just a little too high for Will Cabrera there.
Didn't hear his name called too much over the course of that opening half. Yale was at one point up by 12. It's another fail clear from Quinnipiac, returns it to the Bulldogs. Bobcats did rattle off 3 goals in the final minute of the second quarter. But if they want to come back, they have to avoid more of those failed clears. With that turnover, only 8 of 13 on the game.
Not a stat line you want to see. And Yale running with the new attack line. Looks like we got Cabrera, Brady McDermott, and I think it's Eddie Q out there.
Also some second line midfielders getting some run as well. There's Jack Monfort. Curls up. Stopped from the top bar by DiMuccio.
Great stuff in close.
Two scoreless minutes to open up this third quarter. The second consecutive Hail Mary pass. Failing to find a target. That's what Quinnipiac has had to resort to quite a bit with the ride being so aggressive on the Yale side.
The attackmen are open if they can make that pass, but it's a long pass. It's a 50-yard pass at least.
Here's Carson Kuhl, a first year from Westlake Village, California. Max Krevsky did not play in that UAlbany game. Steps into this one, puts it a little high. Teams playing on as the rain falling down here in New Haven. Approaching the end of April. Hopefully we get our due flowers come May. On the run, DiMuccio holding off another shot from up high, that time from Krevsky.
DiMuccio coming up big right now. But again, Quinnipiac really struggling to clear the ball. It's a third consecutive failed clear.
Quick passing, low shot stop, rebounds. Stepped in the crease, wave it off. That would have been Brady McDermott with his second. The initial stop made against Eddie Q.
And Yale's going back to their starters at close defense out there.
Chris Fake, Bryce DeMuth, Michael Alexander. Rock solid unit. Opponents averaging 12.5 goals per game against this Yale team, but doesn't matter as much when the Bulldogs themselves average 15. In front, low to high attempts. Gets cut off in progress, goes high. That's the backup with half the shot clock.
That Yale close defense, very good.
Dylan Donnery has a hat trick as he tries to revitalize this Quinnipiac team. He'll be an important part. That's 4 unanswered dating back to the first half for the Bobcats.
And a great cut there. Got past Luke Esbach and able to get that feed in close for a nice crease feed and score.
This is the final non-conference game of the season for both these teams, each with only one left after. Quinnipiac hits the road again towards the capital region of New York, taking on Siena and Loudonville on Saturday. Meanwhile, Yale welcomes Harvard here to Reese Stadium to close things out. Both of those will be conference games. Patrick Hackler getting hacked at as he chooses to rewind behind.
Wow, I thought I was the one for the dad jokes.
Hey, it is my birthday. I'm aging ever closer to eligibility.
Happy birthday. You know, I think today is also Evan Ellis, my longtime partner here's birthday. So happy birthday to you guys.
DiMuccio makes another save. Yes, it is indeed Evan Ellis' birthday, former producer of events here at Yale. Now living his best life in North Carolina. We wish him the best.
Today's a great day to be a great day for play-by-play guys to be born.
Another turnover gives it back to the Bulldogs. We mentioned during halftime that Chris Jastrzemski had elaborately laid out all the various tiebreaker scenarios that could chaotically ensue to decide what happens towards this final stretch where you have 5 teams tied at 3-2 and shaking out where the tournament goes. So first you have scenario 1 in which Cornell, Brown, and Yale win this weekend. That has Brown on top, Cornell 2, Yale 3, Harvard 4. Scenario 2, Princeton, Brown, and Yale win. So this is also a Yale win scenario. Yale still ends up 3rd, Princeton is 1, Brown is 2. If Harvard loses, they could end up anywhere between 4 and 6, depending on how the other games shake out throughout the course of Saturday.
Yale doesn't want to leave into anybody else's hands.
Make it 5 in a row for Quinnipiac. And just when this game looked out of reach, might be getting a little closer to it here now in the 3rd quarter.
And just like that, you see The feed from X. DeLucia on the wing. Rips it past Starr. And the Yale starters come back in on attack.
John DeLucia, the team's leading goal getter coming into today, picks up his first. Now tied with Dylan Donnery, as his 3 on the contest have squared them up at 19 on the year. This was a 12-goal game with a minute to go in the second quarter. 5 in a row for this Quinnipiac squad. Yale sending out the big guns to try to add some more pad. Brian Tevlin flings it behind. Leo Johnson rotates it up top.
We talked earlier before the game, we were talking about, teams with sportsmanship and some high school games.
No mercy from Will Cabrera.
Wow. What a beautiful step down shot. But we were talking about some of these high school teams where they're running up the scores and questioning the sportsmanship of that. And check that, was Johnny Kaib on that step down shot. But you look at just being able to have a team come back, you sub some of your guys out, the other team makes a run at it, and then you can put your starters back in and let them do some of that.
Game a little more competitive now, 16-8 Yale.
"50 years ago, their story began. Generations of women etched their names in the Yale history books. The pioneers, the trailblazers, the rule breakers, the boundary pushers, the won't take no for an answer, won't quit champions. Your grit, perseverance, and tenacity paved the way for women student athletes of today and tomorrow. We remember you. We honor you. We move forward for you.
Third quarter between Yale and Quinnipiac men's lacrosse, 16-8 in favor of the Bulldogs. Yale put the kibosh on a 5-goal run for Quinnipiac right before the break, as Johnny Kai picked up his second of the contest.
Mac Rodriguez with a big face-off win there.
Dimitri George has been solid on the face-off dot all night for Quinnipiac. Loose pass near the crease. Looked like Johnson had it for the moment, but it was actually C.J. Gallagher, the long pull for the Bobcats, who picked it up.
Nice. Fed a little bit too much in there. A good cause turnover, and now we see Quinnipiac back where they've been struggling against this Yale ride.
Another home run pass. Yale had to keep that in because they got a piece of it, and they do.
Quinnipiac with a little tough ride of their own, but Yale able to get that ball up on the cross field, and easy clear for Bragg.
No mercy on the attack. Cannot finish. Leo Johnson has delivered plenty today. 1 goal, 4 assists, trying to get number 2 in the individual column. Fought through a number of defenders, just couldn't get that last edge to sneak it through. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. It was 8-2 after 1 for Yale. It eventually grew to 15-3, and the blink of an eye became 15-8 off a strong run for the Bobcats. Johnny Kibe picked one back up for these Bulldogs a few minutes ago. Quinnipiac trying to slice the deficit again. Pass intercepted straight out of the air. Clay Ostrover, the sophomore from Greenwich, with the swipe. Here's Brandow, who's already got 7 points.
I see Oken went down in the middle there with some contact. Slow coming up, coming off the field gingerly. And now Yale's going to sub on.
A lot of debate and a lot of jawing between the two benches right now. Coach is having to break that up off screen. This game's certainly getting heated between two Greater New Haven foes. Pass goes through to Lyons. Leo Johnson against Tellers. Pulls out the question marks, no shooting lane. Extra pass, finds his man. 6 goals for Matt Brandow.
Absolutely no angle there for Brandow. And if you can't sneak it into the side, he just goes high and goes right up and over.
As if he needs to really add on to his long laundry list of accomplishments. He's now got 5 games in a row where he's tallied at least 6 points. He's up to 8. And when you talk about a hallmark of consistency, Brandow is it. 3rd year on campus, the junior from Timonium, Maryland. In every game he has played in a Yale uniform, he has at least 1 goal and 2 total points.
Guy's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Pretty good. Back to a 9-goal lead for the Bulldogs off the Brandow tally. Evan Perry tries to swipe that to Donnery. Starr comes out of net. Almost hits his target downfield, and Chris Fake. Now Quinnipiac trying to make something happen in transition. Fight in the alley comes up with Quinnipiac. Here's John DeLucia. Team's leading goal scorer, held to just 1 so far, but a couple assists.
And this Yale team, it's getting a little chippy because they're expecting Quinnipiac to just back down, and they're not. Quinnipiac is just saying, hey, we're going to stick around. We're going to keep fighting. We're not going to let you walk over us. And DeLucia finishes there. Just a little quick catch and turn and shoot past Starr.
DeLucia is 2nd of the game, 20 on the season. He's now got 10 in the last 4 games. Yale sticking with Joe Newman on these faceoffs. But Dimitri George has struggled. That time a violation will give it to the Bobcats anyway.
I believe that's 2 violations on the last 2 possessions for Yale. 1 for Rodriguez and one there for Ball.
3:15 to go in the third. Bobcats back to work with a long protruding defense. Jermaine rips it just shy of the net. Dylan Donnery there for the backup. He's already got a hat trick in this one. Bryce DeMuth chomping at the bit to get a piece. Hands get free, and Teller sticks bottom left. Eight-goal game again as Tellers gets his second.
Quinnipiac not going away. Good ball movement. Just a nice little time and room shot. Somebody before this game was saying that, Yale Quinnipiac, that, forget what the records are, all bets are off. And somebody told me that guy was crazy. And Quinnipiac just continues to keep fighting and takes it down to a 7-goal difference.
They're playing pesky and sticking around. Since the final minute of the second quarter, Quinnipiac has outscored Yale 7-2.
Well, and this is going to be one of those games where you're going to see the prognosticators. I know Terry Foy was talking about starting to question the Yale defense and some guys questioning the defense. And Yale playing a lot of people. Quinnipiac putting the ball in the net. Quinnipiac playing very hard. That's a great force out of bounds there. Putting Max Krevsky on his back. That looked like Will Abbott that did that. And the official pointing him back, move back here. I don't know why it would have been back here.
Abbott is a seasoned vet, a senior from Hopkinton, Massachusetts, who has started every single game of his college career for the Bobcats, and that's just an opportunity wasted.
Yeah, such a great hustle play, a great toughness play, and then you throw it away with that long up and over and pass that really wasn't necessary.
Game clock and shot clock separated by all of 8 seconds as we're heading towards the end of the third. Ryan Tevlin has picked up a pair in this one. Now into double-figure goals on the year with 10. Leo Johnson, not much of a screen from Brandau, flips back to him at X. Point-blank stop against Tevlin. DiMuccio doing his best to hold firm. That's his 14th save. In transition, here come the Bobcats. And Gallagher has to slow down. It's a 6-goal game. Don't count the Cats out yet.
Quinnipiac just not going away. They're going to keep scoring. They say, ignore what our record says, ignore what we've done before this in the season. All that matters is what we're doing right here, right now. And they're making a game of this. 32 seconds left. And you look at what they did in the first half with a run at the end of the first half. Big face-off from Rodriguez.
And the stop made.
Another DiMuccio with a big save in 22 seconds. Will they be able to clear the ball? That's been the struggle for Quinnipiac. And a beautiful
hits Abbott in stride. Pass inside, just off target, so no last-second chance on the Quinnipiac side of affairs. But the Bobcats have made it a ball game. It was once a 12-goal Yale lead, and with still a full quarter to play, Quinnipiac has it back within 6. Since the end of the second quarter, an 8-2 run. Stick with us here at Reese Stadium in New Haven.
Hey.
50 years ago, their story began. Generations of women etched their names in the Yale history books. The pioneers, the trailblazers, the rule breakers, the boundary pushers, the won't take no for an answer, won't quit champions. Your grit, perseverance, and tenacity paved the way for women student athletes of today and tomorrow. We remember you. We honor you. We move forward for you.
Back-to-back trip to the NCAA tournament. Touchdown, pass, score! Up in the air, good! With their first championship! Unbelievable!
It's the final day of non-conference play in the Ivy League, and the opponents woke up today and chose violence. Quinnipiac keeping this decently close, heading into the fourth quarter. At 1 point down 12, now within 6. As the face-off wanted to start off this fourth quarter by James Ball.
Fans who have come out to Yale games here at Reese this year have really been treated to some unexpectedly good games. All the games have been close. Had 2 overtime games. You had UMass overtime win. Penn overtime win, that Princeton 2-goal game. The Albany game was a close game. This game, closer than anybody expected.
Well, how about this? You just talked about Penn. The Quakers are trailing St. Joseph's 10-5 in the fourth quarter right now.
Let me get to that score. Wow. That's a huge score. And Brian keeping Brown to 13 goals, which means a lot of teams are going to watch that tape to see what they can do to slow that Brown defense down, or Brown offense down.
Almost impossible shot. That was half decent from Tellers. The flag comes down on the play, so Quinnipiac, as it tries to complete the comeback, will get an EMO. Patrick Hackler drawing the ire of the officials. It'll be 30 seconds for holding.
Penn was a team that at one point in the season just looked completely unstoppable. And now just struggling over the last couple of weeks. That's another hold.
No flag comes out of it. And Yale gets the ball back. That'll milk off the rest of the extra man. So back to even strength.
Nice clear to Tevlin.
Carson Kuhl trying to jolt some life into this Bulldog attack after scoring 15 goals in the first half of play. Yale has been held so far to just 2 in the second. Matt Brandow
You were
continuing to pile on.
You were saying held to 2 in this half, but Brandow said, I think I need another one.
Matt Brandow has 10 points, 7 goals, 3 assists.
And that dodge, one of the things that early in the season I talked to Coach Shea, and we were talking about what we were seeing, and I said, offensively, this just looks like a very different team than we've seen out of Yale. The last 6-7 years, you had guys like Conrad Oberbeck or Ben Reeves or Jackson Morrill who were the guy, hey, they're going to dodge. They're going to make that dodge that Matt Brandow made. They're going to maybe have a pick. They're maybe not. They're just going to go, and they're going to either take that shot or feed somebody in close. And it really, the roles didn't seem there because everything was spread out. You had Johnson, you had Brandow, but Brandow is just such a dominant force right now from the attack. Really tough to stop.
Ball will be given to Yale. For Matt Brandow, 7 goals, 3 assists, 10 points. The first and last figures, the 7 and the 10, tying career highs. Leo Johnson, who's having himself a day too, a goal and a career high 5 assists. And another point on the board for Brandow. He's got the assist of Lyons, who has a hat trick.
Lyons, who came in, and that's Brandow's goal from before, but Lyons has come in and just been such a great inside finisher. We see Brandow with that little dodge. 2 quick fakes there from Lyons before he shoots. Such great hands. And again, Chris Lyons, who? We heard so much about Johnson and all these guys that were coming in, and Chris Lyons completely on the radar, a huge pickup in recruiting for Yale.
Bulldogs quick again. That one going low. Gets stood up. Rebounded. Lyons stopped again. DiMuccio doing his best to hold firm.
And these Quinnipiac fans that are made the trip, really getting a treat to see a bunch of guys who just aren't backing down. They're playing the entire game, giving everything they have, every play out here. And you watch this team and you wonder, how is this team, how do they only have 2 wins?
And some teams in that conference, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, really do challenge themselves in the non-conference slate. Quinnipiac isn't one of them. They faced a lot of NEC schools, schools from America East, UMass Lowell, LIU. They did face Brown, so there's a challenge in there.
But then you got Brown in there, you got Virginia, and you got Yale. So it's kind of feast or famine with who you're playing in those non-conference games.
That Virginia game just a couple weeks ago, a 12-goal defeat at the hands of the Cavaliers. Krevsky's shot got altered a little bit on its way in. A little over 10 minutes to go. Yale up to 19 on the game, but Quinnipiac refusing to go away. Brandow. Stopped up high. DiMuccio keeps him from getting goal number 8. Tellers breaks the ride. Has space, dishes the crease, falling away. The shot is actually a pass, and it finds a wide open Nick Butler. How about a time for your first career goal? We got a 7-goal game here in New Haven.
Well, you look at the sideline and how guys are feeling out here for Quinnipiac. Happy for their teammate, but they're just enjoying playing a game that they're much closer in than anybody expected, and they're playing their butts off today and giving everything they got. Coaches over here telling them to get out of the box because they don't want to get a penalty, and everybody's cheering on.
Nick Butler, the first-year midfielder from Hermosa Beach, California, playing in just his second ever college game, gets his first NCAA goal against a top 10 opponent. If you're Andy Shea looking back at the game tape of this game at times, what's the big thing that stands out at you where you look at it and say, we can't do that against Harvard?
Well, I think defensively you made some switches and you have guys who aren't used to working together. The communication on defense, nice dodge there from Tamuccio with some moves.
Bobcats are selling out.
Great moves and then throws it away. You got so many times you want to say, just make the easy pass. There's an easy pass shorter, or just walk it over and get it to your attack instead of that long pass.
Brandow already with 10 points. Jump shot goes. That's a hat trick for Johnny Kibe. He's got a career high in points. And the first hat trick in the career for the number 52 recruit from a year ago.
Attack the, feed it to X, attack the backside, and then feed the crease. Textbook lacrosse.
This helps Yale gain some much-needed breathing room that it didn't think it would need at this point. Up 12 with a minute to go in the second quarter before Quinnipiac goes on an absurd run. At one point, getting this deficit back down to 6. Face-off violation becomes the third of the half for Dimitri George, so he'll serve out 30 seconds. It's obviously early, but you could call this a possible dagger moment for the Bulldogs.
Well, Yale's had the ability to score pretty easily when they have their starters out there.
Kibe just fails to get it past Tamuccio.
And a great
It'll go to Quinnipiac after some confusion. Neither side seemed perfectly clear as to what the situation was.
The Quinnipiac fans knew. They've been very helpful with their calls today. They've been really spot on with their questions for the officials. Nice little shovel pass from behind, but a turnover right to Johnny Kibe.
An 8-goal game with 7.5 minutes to go. In a game where there was discussion as to how much do you save in the tank for some of the more important guys. Bulldogs applying no brakes here in the fourth quarter. Matt Brandow slipped into the crease. So back with the Bobcats.
Tevlin maybe got away with one there. Just kind of kicked the ball out to the sideline. Could have been a delay of game there.
Well, Abbott in the scramble emerges with the ball. Abbott, senior midfielder. Has been playing a physical game today. Hasn't necessarily turned into points. Certainly a lot of respect owed for this fight. That Quinnipiac is pitching against its neighbor 15 minutes to the south. Curling up, Perry bounces it just wide. They're going to keep it with Quinnipiac. And another new goalkeeper in for the Yale Bulldogs. Cam Coyle, a first year from Robbinsville, New Jersey, making his college debut.
Wow. Yeah, I was looking to see who that was.
DeLucia. Keeps failing to find a lane. Miller, inside roll, gets it! Will it hold? No! They wave it off. The flag came flying.
Well, a flag down, and Coyle quickly looking to clear, but with the flags, I'm assuming that's going to be a push against Yale.
This is important. We had this discussion just last quarter about, with the new crease rules and the chaos. He may have been shoved in, and it wasn't his fault that he ended up in the crease, but nonetheless, that still waves off the goal. So Brian Tevlin will serve out 30 seconds. Jermaine holds. Tellers. Jermaine lets it fly. Just wide. Still plenty of time to shoot, but only 10 left on the extra man. Inside to Abbott. No dice.
And Coyle with the dive, able to take a possession, steal a possession for Yale.
As we talk about this comeback effort for the Bobcats, kind of hitting some stumbling blocks on the way through, while St. Joe's looked like it had a solid control in its game with Penn. Quakers, with less than 5 minutes to go, have brought that back within one. But that's even a ranked matchup. This is a top 10 team in the country against a 2-9 squad out of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Obviously, 8 goals is a little bit of a Herculean task for this point in the game. But at times way closer. Big save from Coyle. Sweeping that one out down low. Chris Fake slings it over.
This definitely makes you look at the depth of the Yale defense and what they're able to do. Offensively, they can score. They've got a lot of scorers. But defensively, when you pull out those starters on defense, you start to see more goals coming in, from Quinnipiac that maybe you're not expecting.
Off-target pass gives it back to Quinnipiac. Less than 4 minutes to go. The penultimate matchup of the season, the regular season for both these teams. It will be the penultimate matchup one way or another for Quinnipiac. Ryan Donnery tried to find DeLucia. It got knocked down. Picked up by Charlie Weitzel, a sophomore from Newton, Massachusetts.
Younger brother Will Weitzel. Great defenseman for Yale.
Three minutes to go. Tevlin. Pass behind Truex. I'm just asking, is there like a certain point in clock time where you just get rid of it? Feet up top, a little off target. And the battle won by the Bobcats. Scoreless last 6 minutes and change. Mason Poley, his 4th year running the ship at Quinnipiac, a squad he's been a part of, the staff at for nearly a decade. Obviously still some work to do, but you can see the pieces developing, and a lot of these scorers are still so young.
And Quinnipiac starting to invest in the program, just built a beautiful lacrosse facility up the street.
Oh my, there's one of those youngins, Ryan Donnery, a sophomore. His 2nd goal of the game's a beauty.
Ryan Donnery with the dangles. Wow, nice little face dodge. I mean, beautiful toe drag, drops it down, and then a nice little bounce shot past Coyle.
Him and his twin brother Dylan are certainly bright spots on this Bobcat roster. Dylan with a hat trick, Ryan right there, moving up to 2 goals, 2 assists on the contest. And, I mean, again, the scoring came from a lot of different places. 8 different goal scorers of the 13 that came through for Quinnipiac. I think it's definitely worth some mention that 12 of the 13 goals come from players who will be back in a Bobcat uniform next year, barring a transfer. Abbott! What a save there. Beautiful Another new goalie as Miles Lanou, a junior from Mahwah, New Jersey, getting some run in these final couple minutes.
Curious how they come up with who's going to play when you get to these times when you're getting reps for your goalies. Another big save from Lanou, standing tall.
Yale looked like its typical self out the gate. Quinnipiac down the stretch put up one heck of a fight. As Penn trails by 2 goals heading into the final couple of minutes. A night that could rain havoc on the Ivy League will leave the Bulldogs untouched against the local Bobcats. 20-13. Yale wins over Quinnipiac to wrap up non-conference play.
A great first half from the Bulldogs outside of that last 90 seconds of the first half. And second half, they let the Bobcats play with them. But this Bulldog team, the big matchup is this Saturday. Harvard coming to town. That's a huge game, big implications.
A lot on the line. Tiebreakers to settle within the Ivy League. And that'll be a big one here at Reese Stadium. Yale and Harvard, two ranked teams in the Ivy League. You'll be able to watch that on ESPNU. Our final score from New Haven, Yale 20, Quinnipiac 13. For Patrick Reed and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Ross signing off from New Haven.